Hey students, in previous lecture I discussed set operation. There I discussed union, intersection, except. Also I discussed null value. Null we consider as a unknown. In total lecture I will discuss aggregate function. Aggregate function take collective value and give a single value. In SQL there are 5 built-in aggregate functions. These are average, minimum, maximum, total, or you can say sum and count. Only sum and average take numeric value, whereas mean, max and count can take non-numeric value. Let's see some example. First example, find the average salary of instructor in the computer science department. That we can write as select average salary from instructor, where department name equals to computer science. It will do average of all salary. This average salary we can rename as average salary. So select AVG salary, that will do average of all instructor salary. In output it can show as average salary. From instructor, where department name equals to computer science. I already discussed rename before. We can do rename by as. Now find the number of instructor who teaches a course in spring 2020 semester. So it will count the number of instructor. That we can write as select count distinct ID. If one instructor teaches more than one courses, then it will count one for that instructor. So distinct ID, there will be no duplicate. From teaches, where semester equals to spring and year equals to 2020. If you don't want distinct, you can simply write ID. So if one instructor teaches more than one courses, she will counted only once in the result. As here we are counting number of instructor who teaches a course. And suppose you want to count number of tuple, you can simply write select count star. So it will count all the tuple in that relation from course. And this star is not for distinct. And we can use distinct with max and mean. We can use the keyword all in place of distinct. All will consider duplicate also. Whereas in case of distinct, there are no duplicates. All is by default, we don't need to mention all. If we are not writing distinct, by default it will consider as all and it will count every single tuple. Next, aggregation with grouping. I already discussed grouping. We can group by some attribute. Now find the average salary of each department. Here we need to group by department. So select department name, average salary as average salary from instructor. Group by department name. In the output there will be department name and in each department what is the average salary. This group by will give output by grouping department name and their average salary. Now find the average salary of all instructor. Here we are not doing group by, so you will consider the whole relation as one group. Select average salary from instructor. If you are writing group by department name, then it will give average salary of each department. If you are not writing group by, then it will consider whole instructor relation as one group. Now output will be department name, average salary. So biology, this is 72000, computer science 77333, like this. And for this query, you will just get average salary of whole relation, whole instructor. Next example, find the number of instructor in each department who teaches a course in spring 2020 semester. So you need to count number of instructor each department. That's why we'll use group by department name. In each department, how many instructor are there who teaches in spring 2020 semester. Select department name, count distinct ID as instructor count. From instructor, natural and teaches, you are getting output from two relation. One is instructor, another is teaches, where semester equals to spring and year equals to 2020. Group by department name. So each department, how many instructor are there in spring 2020. We'll get output like this: department name, instructor count, computer science 3 instructor, finance 1 instructor, history 1 instructor, music 1 instructor. So in which department how many instructor are there? And here one thing is important. The only attribute that can be appear in select, which is in group by. Like here only department name can appear. Department name is present in group by. Rather than department name, we cannot write any other attribute when we are using the aggregate function. So here we are using aggregate function count for distinct ID. Rather than this aggregate function, only department name can exist. That department name should be present in group by. If you are writing any other name in select clause, then that will be error. For example, select department name, ID, average salary from instructor, group by department name. So here it will group by department name, and in each department what is the average salary, where will be ID, what will be the ID value. Because department name is group by, so in one department, suppose there are 5 instructor, it will do average of their salary. So this is a erroneous code. So when we are using aggregate function, rather than that aggregate, only the attribute which is present in group by clause can be present in select attribute. Here department name present in group by clause, so department name can be present in select clause. ID is error. We cannot write ID here as we are doing group by department name, and in one department name there are multiple instructor, and multiple instructor have multiple ID. In today's lecture I discussed aggregate function, max, mean, average, sum, count are aggregate function. In next lecture I will discuss having clause. If this lecture is helpful for you, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.